Now we have completed the topic of circular waveguide. Right, now circular waveguide, rectangular waveguide, which are nothing but your single conductor transmission line. Now behind that you have elliptical waveguide, single ridged waveguide, double ridged waveguide, but those are not included in your syllabus. Only rectangular waveguide and circular waveguide are included in your syllabus under single conductor transmission line. Right, now coming to next topic, that is multi-conductor transmission line. As I have said while explaining different microwave transmission lines, this is one type, multi-conductor transmission lines. You have different types of multi-conductor transmission lines which contains more than one conductor, right, which contains more than one conductor. Now different types of multi-conductor transmission lines are coaxial lines is one type, one type of multi-conductor transmission line. Now after coaxial line you will have strip lines, and another one is microstrip lines. Another type of multi-conductor transmission line is microstrip lines. Now behind that you have slot lines, right, slot lines, and another one you have it as coplanar lines, right. Now these are different types of multi-conductor transmission lines which will have more than one conductor, and this will support TEM mode of propagation, as I have said under rectangular waveguide and circular waveguide. Now those two waveguides will support either TE mode of propagation or TM mode of propagation, but it doesn't support TEM mode of propagation. Now coming to multi-conductor transmission line, it supports TE mode of propagation, TM mode of propagation, and also TEM mode of propagation, right. Now it contains more than one conductor, right. All this now among these 5 different types of multi-conductor transmission line, in your syllabus you have coaxial lines, strip lines, and microstrip lines. Only these 3 multi-conductor lines are included in your syllabus, right. Now coming to first type of multi-conductor transmission line, nothing but coaxial lines. First type of multi-conductor transmission line, nothing but coaxial lines. Now let me draw its figure. Now this is coming to first type of multi-conductor transmission line that is coaxial line. This is included in your syllabus. Now that is coaxial line. Now this is the cross-sectional view of a coaxial line. Now if you see this cross-sectional view, right, it contains 2 conductor. As I have said, multi-conductor transmission line contains 2 conductor, that is it contains more than one conductor, nothing but 2 conductor. Now if you see this cross-sectional view, now it contains inner conductor with diameter small d, and it contains outer conductor with diameter capital D. Now the space between this inner conductor and outer conductor is filled with insulator, right. Now the space, whatever the space that is present between this inner conductor and outer conductor, now that space is filled with insulator, right. Now if you see this coaxial transmission line, now this is most widely used for high frequency application, right. Now this is coaxial line is most widely used for high frequency application. Now as I have said, it supports TE mode of propagation, TM mode of propagation, and also TEM mode of propagation, right? It supports TE mode, TM mode, and also TEM mode of propagation. Now if you see this structure, now this is how the TEM wave propagates in coaxial line. TEM wave in coaxial line. If you see this second structure, now this is how the TEM wave propagates through the coaxial line, right? Now this is the outer conductor and this is the this is the inner conductor and this is the outer conductor. Inner conductor and the outer conductor. Now the space between these inner conductor and outer conductor, if you see this, the straight lines are electric field lines and dotted lines are magnetic field lines. If you see this, all electric field lines or magnetic field lines are confined within inner conductor and outer conductor. That's why there won't be any radiation losses in coaxial lines, right? That's why there is no any radiation losses in coaxial lines, because if you see this TEM wave in coaxial line, now these dotted lines are magnetic field lines and these straight lines are electric field lines. The electric field lines and the magnetic field lines are confined within this particular inner conductor and outer conductor. That's why there won't be any radiation losses in coaxial lines, right? Now that dominant mode of this coaxial lines is TEM wave, right? The dominant mode in coaxial lines is TEM wave, and this multi-conductor transmission line doesn't contain any cutoff frequency. It will allow all the frequencies. It doesn't contain any cutoff frequency, but the dominant mode of coaxial line is TEM wave. The only disadvantage of coaxial line is it can operate only up to 40 gigahertz. That means it will allow the frequencies. I said it doesn't act as high pass filter. It will allow the frequencies, or it will allow all the frequencies. That means it will allow the frequencies up to 40 gigahertz only. That's why it can operate up to 40 gigahertz. Now if you want to increase more number of frequencies beyond 40 gigahertz, you can go for strip lines, and another one is micro strip lines, right? Now this is about coaxial line. Now let me briefly explain. Now this is the structure of coaxial line, right? This coaxial line is mostly used in highest frequency application. Now this is the cross sectional view, right? It contains inner conductor and outer conductor. The space between this inner conductor and outer conductor is filled with insulator, right? Now small d is the diameter of inner conductor and this is the diameter of outer conductor. Now this coaxial line supports TE mode of propagation, TM mode of propagation, and also TEM mode of propagation. Now this is how the TEM wave propagates in coaxial line. Now this is the inner conductor and outer conductor. Now dotted lines are magnetic field lines, straight lines are electric field lines. If you see this structure, all the electric field lines and magnetic field lines are confined within the coaxial line, confined within the inner conductor and outer conductor. Now that's why there are no any radiation losses in coaxial line. The only disadvantage or the limitation of this coaxial line is it will allow the frequencies up to 40 gigahertz only. That means up to frequencies, coaxial line will allow the frequencies up to 40 gigahertz only. Now if you want to transmit the frequencies that is greater than 40 gigahertz, you have to go for strip lines, right? Now this is about coaxial line, and the dominant mode of coaxial lines is TEM wave, right? Now this is about coaxial line. Now let me derive some parameters, derivations under coaxial line, right? Now as I have said, dominant mode is TEM wave, right? Dominant mode is TEM wave and doesn't contain any cutoff frequency. It doesn't contain any cutoff frequency. It will allow all the frequencies, right? Now the dominant mode is TEM wave and it doesn't contain any cutoff frequencies. That's why FC is 0. Now what is the expression for beta? Now beta is nothing but under root of omega square mu epsilon minus omega c square mu epsilon. As I have said under rectangular waveguide and circular waveguide, expression for beta is under root of omega square mu epsilon minus omega c square mu epsilon. Now this coaxial line, multi-conductor, not only coaxial line, multi-conductor transmission line doesn't contain any cutoff frequencies. It will allow all the frequencies. When FC is 0, automatically omega c will become 0. Now from this expression, beta is nothing but omega into under root of mu e, right? Now this is the expression for phase constant for coaxial line, not only coaxial line, multi-conductor transmission line. Multi-conductor transmission line doesn't contain any cutoff frequencies. it will allow all the frequencies. That's why Fc is 0. When Fc is 0, automatically omega c will become 0. Now from this expression beta you will get it as omega into under root of mu e, right? Now what is wave impedance? ZTM, as I have said while explaining wave impedance under rectangular waveguide, right? You are getting for one mode of propagation neta into under root of 1 minus fc by f whole square. For another mode of propagation you are getting neta by under root of 1 minus fc by f whole square, right? You are, whether it is T mode of propagation or Tm mode of propagation, there you are contains a cutoff frequency, but here fc is not there. When fc is not there, whether it is neta 1 minus fc by f whole square or neta into under root of 1 minus neta by under root of 1 minus fc by f whole square. Now fc is 0, right? When fc is 0, now ZTM, wave impedance of ZTM is nothing but neta, right? Wave impedance of ZTM is nothing but neta, and neta is nothing but under root of mu by e, right? Neta is nothing but under root of mu by e. See, these two expression will depend on Fc only. Multi-conductor transmission line doesn't contain any cutoff frequency. When it doesn't contain any cutoff frequency, now the wave impedance of ZTM is nothing but neta. Neta is nothing but under root of mu by e, that is nothing but 377 ohms, right? Now the inductance, now we have to derive characteristic impedance of Z0, characteristic impedance of coaxial line. Now the inductance is denoted by L. Now the inductance of a coaxial cable is given by mu by 2 pi ln of d by d Henry per meter, and capacitance is given by 2 pi epsilon divided by ln of capital D by small d farad per meter, right? Now the inductance and the capacitance, right? Inductance and the capacitance per unit length of the coaxial cable are given by these two expressions. Inductance per unit length of coaxial cable is given by this expression, and the capacitance of a coaxial cable per unit length is given by this expression, right? Now we know, see, capital D is nothing but diameter of outer conductor, and small d is nothing but diameter of inner conductor, where epsilon is nothing but the insulator, right? And this, you know, capital D nothing but diameter of outer conductor, and small d is nothing but diameter of inner conductor, right? Now mu is nothing but mu naught into mu r, right? Mu is nothing but mu naught into mu r. Now we know mu r equals to 1, right? Now from this expression mu equals to 4 pi into 10 power minus 7, right? Mu equals to 4 pi into 10 power minus 7 Henry per meter. Now similarly epsilon is given by epsilon naught into epsilon r. Now epsilon r, that is given by 1 by 36 pi into 10 power minus 9 farad per meter. You have to substitute these values in L and C, and after substituting those values calculate Z, right? Now if I substitute, what you will get? Now what is L? L is nothing but let me do it in another. Now what is L? L is nothing but mu by 2 pi, right? Inductance of a coaxial cable per unit length, that is given by mu by 2 pi ln of d by d Henry per meter, right? Now what is mu? Mu naught into mu r divided by 2 pi into ln of d by d Henry per meter, right? D by d Henry per meter. Now mu r is 1. Now what is mu naught? 4 pi into 10 power minus 7 into 1. Mu r is 1 divided by 2 pi into ln of d by d Henry per meter. Now if you solve this, L you will get it as 2 into 10 power minus 7 ln of d by d Henry per meter. Now this is the final value of inductance per unit length of a coaxial cable. Now similarly capacitance per unit length of the coaxial cable, that is given by 2 pi epsilon ln of d by d. Derivation is not important, just you have to remember characteristic impedance. Final formula, how you are getting, I am solving it, right? Now this is given by this capacitance per unit length of the coaxial cable is given by this expression. Now 2 pi epsilon is nothing but epsilon naught into epsilon r, right? Now divided by ln of d by d farad per meter, right? Now 2 pi into, now epsilon r, that is, sorry, this is epsilon naught, now that is given by 1 by 36 pi into 10 power minus 9 into epsilon r. See, 1 by 36 pi into 10 power minus 9 is the value of epsilon naught. Previous, by mistake I have represented it as here, right? Now divided by ln of d by d. Now if you solve this, now pi will get cancelled. Now 2 9ths, right? Now if you solve 18ths, right? 2 18s are 36. Now if you solve this, C, you will get it as 55.56 into 10 power minus 12 into ER divided by ln of d, small capital D by small d farad per meter, right? Now this is the value of C, right? You know L value, you know C value. Now how you will find characteristic impedance Z naught, right? You know L value, you know C value. Now Z naught is nothing but under root of L by C. Now substitute those values. Now what is the value of L? You are getting 2 into 10 power minus 7 ln of d per d, right? Now what is C value? 55.56 into 10 power minus 12 into ER divided by ln of d power d, right? Now Z naught, now if you solve this, you will get 60 by under root of ER. This total value, right? This total value will get 3599 point something. Consider it as 3600. Root of 3600 is nothing but 60, and root of ER, now this you will go up, right? Square you will get, now square and root will get cancelled. Now finally you will get ln of d per d ohms. Now this is the characteristic impedance of coaxial cable, right? Characteristic impedance 60 divided by epsilon r. Ln of capital D is diameter of outer conductor and small d is diameter of inner conductor, right? Now coming to next one. Now another derivation, another parameter, that is velocity of propagation of coaxial cable. Another derivation, that is velocity of propagation of coaxial cable, right? Now V is nothing but, it is given by 1 by root mu e, right? Now the velocity of propagation of the coaxial cable, that is nothing but, see, velocity of light, that is nothing but c, right? That is given by 1 by root mu e, right? 1 by root mu e. Now mu is nothing but mu naught into mu r, and similarly E is nothing but E naught into ER. Now substitute that value. Now if I substitute that value, now what you will get? V. Now V is nothing but 1 by under root of mu naught into mu r into epsilon naught into epsilon r, right? Now from this expression, V equals to 1 by under root of mu naught into E naught, right? Under root of mu naught into E naught into under root of mu r into under root of ER. Now mu r equals to 1, right? Now 1 by root mu naught into E naught, which is equals to C. Now if I substitute that, you will get C by under root of ER, right? C by under root of ER. Now this is the velocity of propagation of coaxial cable, right? Velocity of propagation of a wave, that means by how much velocity the wave is propagating through the waveguide is calculated by this expression, that is C by epsilon r, right? Now let me briefly explain. Velocity of the propagation, that is given by 1 by root mu e. Now mu e is nothing but mu naught into mu r, E naught into ER. We know that mu r equals to 1, right? And 1 by root mu naught into E naught, which is nothing but C, right? Now if I substitute those values, C by ER. Now this is the value of velocity of propagation of coaxial cable. Now this is about coaxial cable, right? This is about one multi-conductor transmission line, that is coaxial cable, right? Now let me explain another multi-conductor transmission line, that is strip lines. Another multi-conductor transmission line, that is strip lines, right? Now let me draw its figure. Now coming to next multi-conductor transmission line, that is strip line, right? Now this also contains more than one conductor, right? Now this also contains more than one conductor. Now this is the structure of strip lines, right? Now these are used widely, frequencies from operating frequencies from 100 megahertz to 100 gigahertz, right? Now these are the operating frequency of the strip lines, widely used at frequencies from 100 megahertz to 100 gigahertz, and its structure is this one. Now if you see this structure, it contains a center conductor, right? Now the strip lines contains a center conductor. Now this center conductor has a width of W and it has a thickness of T, where W is greater than T, width is greater than its thickness, and it is placed at exactly, if you see this, there are two ground planes, right? Exactly at half of this ground plane. That means, see, B is nothing but the distance between these two ground planes. Now this particular center conductor is placed at a value where the distance between these two ground planes are half. That means it is placed exactly at center between these two ground planes, right? Now usually the thickness of central conductor and the ground planes are same, right? Whatever the thickness this ground planes has same, the center conductor has also same thickness, right? Now the dominant mode in TEM, the dominant mode of strip lines is also TEM mode. Now this is the structure of TEM mode in strip lines, right? This is the structure of TEM mode in strip lines. Now if you see this center conductor, which is placed exactly at half of between these two ground planes. Now these straight lines are electric field lines and these dotted lines are magnetic field lines. Now if you see these electric field lines and magnetic field line, those are confined within these two ground planes, right? Those are confined within these two ground planes. That's why there are no radiation losses. That's why there are no radiation losses, right? There are no radiation losses in strip line. Now coming to disadvantages, once the strip is placed between these two ground planes, adjustmenting and tuning is not possible. That is one of the disadvantage of the strip lines. Now if you want to mount any active and passive components on this particular strip, that is also not possible. Now these are the two disadvantages of strip lines. Now Characteristic impedance of the strip lines, now that is given by 60 by under root of epsilon r ln of 4b by pi d, right? Ln of 4b by pi d ohms. Now this is the characteristic impedance. Just remember formulas, right? And the velocity of propagation, that is given by same formula, c by under root of epsilon r meter per second, right? Now this is about the strip lines, right? Now let me briefly explain. Now this is the structure of strip lines. If you see the structure of strip lines, right, it contains two ground planes, right? It contains two ground planes, and it contains a center conductor of thickness t and of width w. Now this width is greater than thickness. Now whatever the thickness that center conductor is having, the same thickness is followed for ground planes, and the place, that means, and the space between this ground plane and center conductor is filled with insulator. And now B is nothing but space between these two ground planes, and the center conductor is placed exactly at b by 2, exactly at a distance of b by 2. That means it is placed exactly at half of ground planes, right? Now it supports TE mode of propagation, TM mode of propagation, and also TM mode of propagation, and the dominant mode of strip lines is TEM mode. Now it is used at the frequencies of 100 megahertz to 100 gigahertz, whereas coaxial lines it can operate up to 40 gigahertz. Now for a frequencies between 100 megahertz to 100 gigahertz, if you want to propagate a wave, that means if you want to transfer a wave, strip lines are used. Now as I have said, this strip line supports TEM mode of propagation. Now this is the structure of TEM mode of propagation in strip line. Now if you, these straight lines are electric field lines and dotted lines are magnetic field lines. Now if you see this structure, all the electric field lines and magnetic field lines are confined within two ground planes. That's why there are no radiation losses in strip line. And the characteristic impedance expression is given by 60 by under root of ER ln of 4b by pi d. Now B is nothing but distance between these two ground planes, and D is nothing but diameter of circular conductor, that is equals to rectangular conductor of a strip line, right? Now this diameter is mentioned in the problem, now which is the diameter of the conductor, right? That is given by 60 under root of ER ln of 4b by pi d. B is nothing but space between these two ground planes, and diameter of the conductor whether it is circular or rectangular. See here it is rectangular conductor, but instead of rectangular conductor you can use circular also. The diameter will be mentioned. That particular diameter is this value, and the velocity of propagation is given by c by under root of ER meter per second. Now this is about strip lines, right? Now coming to next multi-conductor transmission line, that is microstrip lines. Now what are the disadvantages of strip lines, right? Now why you are going for microstrip lines? Now let me briefly explain. Now what are the disadvantages? See, once the strip is placed between those two ground planes, adjustment of said strip or tuning of that strip is not possible. One is the one of the disadvantages of strip line, and another one is if you want to mount any active and passive components on that particular strip, that is also not possible. These are the two disadvantages of microstrip line. In order to overcome the disadvantage, that means if you want to mount any active and passive components, right, and another one is if you want to adjust that particular strip, in order to overcome the disadvantages, microstrip lines is preferred over strip line. Now let me draw its figure. Now this is the structure of microstrip lines. Now what is the difference between strip lines and microstrip lines? Under strip line, this is placed between two ground plates, right? Here you have only one ground plate, and the strip is top of that particular, that means strip is that means you won't have any ground plate on the strip, right? That is the main difference between strip lines and microstrip line. This is main. This is the structure of the microstrip line. Now there you will have two ground planes, and here you have only one ground plate, right? Now this is the conductor strip, that is strip. It has a width of W and thickness of T, right? It has a width of W and thickness of T. Now always W is greater than T, right? Now whatever the thickness that is maintained for this particular strip, the same thickness is maintained for ground plate also. Now this is the space between strip and the ground plate is filled with dielectric substrate, and this is the H is nothing but the that means the distance between strip and ground plate, right? Now coming to these advantages, if you want to mount any active and passive component, because there is no ground plate on this particular strip, if you want to mount any active and passive component like BJT or transistor, if you want to mount that particular devices, that is possible under microstrip line. Now adjustment of this strip is also possible. This is, in order to overcome the disadvantage of strip lines, you are going for microstrip lines. And another advantage is fabrication of these microstrip lines are lesser than the fabrication of strip lines, coaxial lines, etc., right? Now the fabrication cost is also less, and these are the main advantages of strip lines, right? Microstrip lines, right? Now coming to limitations. Now here there are radiation losses. Now microstrip lines will also support TE mode of propagation, TM mode of propagation, and also TM mode of propagation. Now coming to its disadvantages, this particular strip is open, right? This particular, that means there won't be any ground plate on this particular strip. Now due to this openness of a strip structure, they have radiation losses. If you see, these straight lines are electric field lines and dotted lines are magnetic field, right? Now this particular electric field lines are getting losses, right? There won't be any ground plate, right? Now these are whatever the field line that are above the strip structure are nothing but the losses. Here also same thing, right? The field lines above this particular structure nothing but the losses, right? Now due to the openness of this microstrip structure, they have high radiation losses, right? Now this is one of the disadvantage of microstrip lines, right? Whereas under strip line there will be a ground plate, right? There will be a ground plate, and the electric field lines or magnetic field lines are confined within those ground plates. That's why there won't be any radiation losses. But here you will have a radiation losses. Now because of air dielectric air interference, right? Because of air dielectric, now because of air dielectric air interference, now there will be a discontinuity in the electric field lines and magnetic field lines, right? Now these are the disadvantage of microstrip lines, right? These are the disadvantage of microstrip lines. Now the Z0 characteristic impedance expression is given by 60 by under root of, see, for every multi-conductor transmission line, this will remain same, the other will vary. Ln of 4h by d. H you know, right? And d is nothing but diameter of the wire over the transmission line, right? D is nothing but diameter of the wire over the transmission line. Now let me briefly explain. Now you know velocity of propagation Vp, that is given by c by under root of er meter per second, right? C by under root of er meter per second, right? Now let me briefly explain about microstrip lines. See, why you are going for microstrip lines? See, under strip lines, adjustment of the once the strip is placed between those two ground planes, if you want to adjust, that is not possible. And another disadvantage is if you want to mount active and passive components on that particular strip, that is also not possible. Now in order to overcome the disadvantages, we are going for microstrip lines, right? Microstrip line, this is the structure of microstrip line. There won't be any ground plate on this particular strip. Now this strip has a width of w. This strip has a width of w and it has a thickness t, right? This strip has a width of w and it has a thickness t, and this is the conductor strip, and this is the height between strip and ground plate, right? And the space between this strip and ground plate is filled with dielectric substrate, right? And it also supports TE mode of propagation and TM mode of propagation. And the advantages of this particular microstrip line is adjustment of the strip is possible because it is open, right? Now another if you want to mount any active components or passive component like BJT transistor, diodes, that is also possible, right? This is the main advantage, and the fabrication cost of these microstrip lines are lesser than that of strip lines, coaxial lines, waveguides, etc. Right? Now these are the advantage. Now coming to disadvantages. Now this strip is open. Now this strip, if you see this structure, radiation losses, right? Radiation losses, and there will be a discontinuity in the electric field lines, right? Now coming to characteristic impedance of Z0, impedance of microstrip lines, that is given by 60 by under root of er epsilon r ln of 4h by d, where h is the height, that is space distance between w and ground plate, and d is the diameter of wire over the ground plate, whatever the wire that is present over the ground plate, that particular diameter, and Vp, that is given by c by under root of epsilon r, velocity of propagation, that is given by c by under root of epsilon r meter per second. In the next lecture, right, here ends the second unit, right? In the next lecture I will say about resonator. You know the topic of the device that exhibits the resonance is nothing but resonator. In the next lecture I will say resonator, followed by scattering parameters, and followed by microwave components, right? Thank you. Now here ends the microwave multi-conductor transmission line. Now you have 5 different types. Among that 5 different types, you have only 3: coaxial lines, strip lines, and microstrip lines. In the next lecture you will have a resonator, followed by scattering parameters, right? Thank you.